Well, well, well. Man. Oh, shit. See? Stupid dad hat. What's good? What's good? What's good? Hey, man. One more, please. Pretty please. With una de esos cherry mierdita. Ahí estamos. What's up? What's going on, beautiful people? How's everybody doing today? It's Monday. You know, on Mondays, it's mental health check day. We talk about what's good and what's going on in our brains. And we get into it. We got some topics today. Nothing too crazy. If this is your first time here, welcome to the Kasabian Lavoe Show. If you've been here before, you know where the fridge is. Take a seat. Let's get to it. Don't ask too many questions when you know what to do. Welcome back, though. We appreciate you and thank you for being here. And this is the show that nobody watches. So if you're watching, you're very special for doing that. But anyway, we're going to record for the podcast. I'm going to keep that one, no matter how big it gets. I think I like the show that nobody watches. I think I like that. We'll be talking about voter rights. MLK had a dream. Today's MLK Day. We'll talk about what that really turned out to be and what that means today. Netflix. Here we go again with more Netflix increases. And honestly, I think it's time we start to talk about it. Hey, did anybody know that LG was making iPhone screens? I didn't even know that. And I don't know. Do y'all know? Can somebody confirm or deny? Walmart's going into the Metaverse. Let's lightly talk on Ye and Kim. And the Tongan volcano that went off completely blew my mind. And I want to talk about that. And the voter rights situation that I'm still confused at what rights they're really talking about. Because it's not voter rights. They're just random made up shits. And we'll get into all of that and more on today's episode of Dragon Ball Z. No. Oh, the song that we're using on the intro, it's a new artist to me. Excuse me, my bad. New artist to me. And the song is dope. It's called Hills. Y'all should check. It's LG, not Samsung. Oh, you said Samsung and LG been making parts. I knew that Samsung did. I did not realize that LG was the people that was making the OLED screens. Damn, my tongue's just swollen as shit. I can feel it. Anyway, listen to the song. Head over to Apple. Head over to Spotify, Amazon, Audible, Facebook, and check it out. It's a dope ass song, dope ass artist, and I'm gonna be working with them. So take a listen. I'm in a Facebook group with my high school peers, and one of them put up a 35-year-old picture of themselves and pretended that we were supposed to all be like, "Oh my God, you look so great!" Like, grow up. Oh, y'all gotta hear this, baby. Oh, I love this song, baby. She's killing. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. My bad. I can hear my heavy breathing. It's Kasabian. Kasabian Lavoe Show. What's going on, beautiful people? What's going on, beautiful people? And welcome back to the Kasabian Lavoe Show, the show that nobody watches. I'll be your host, Kasabian, with talent on loan from God. Welcome back. Thank you for being here. It's a quickie because not much has been going on, just to be honest with you. And I've been damn near infatuated with this volcano and just watching all the videos of everybody playing in where the water has recessed. The new ads are coming. We are working on new ads. We're supposed to be changing all that. The picture. There's a lot of things that are still just slowly trickling down. It's been super slow motion. It's been the worst start to a new year for the Kasabian Lavoe Show. But don't worry about it. We're going to pick it up and go. Head over to our TikTok, Kasabian Lavoe. Follow. We're almost at 1,000. It's not bad. I appreciate the growth on TikTok. Pause. What are we talking about today? Voter rights, and that this bill that's gonna change everything. It's hilarious to think that they can continue to just come up with random words and make you believe that they're helping. Let's dig into that a little bit. Let's talk about the YouTubers and TikTokers that just came out for their highest pay. Not any color folks anywhere, not even Spanish people. Yo, my TikTok is full of Spanish people. So it's kind of crazy that nope, none. I guess the D'Amelios, right? I don't know. Okay. I don't know. I don't even know. Netflix got their price increase coming. I think it's today. Oh no, Friday. Wow. Friday, Netflix goes up $2. It ain't much, but still it adds up. Walmart's making a Metaverse. And I think that's going to be something to watch. Kanye and Kim are going through a bunch of bullshit. And that Tongan volcano went off. And honestly, that was like my biggest story was the volcano, because everything else is pretty much blah. So these voter rights, these laws are so strange. Now, DACA doesn't mean anything to me. For those that were born here in the 80s and 70s and been here their whole life and pay taxes, you obviously should be a citizen of the United States. I blame the system for those that were brought here as children to not have this damn cable. This is like a thing now. I don't blame the children that were here. Like, that's such a strange sentiment to be mad at the kids that were brought here by their parents that were trying to give them a better life. Unfortunately, the time has come where the country is just, we're full. So new people are going to have to wait until we organize and we take care of the old backlog and just the idea of like, who's a citizen. I think we need to really sit down and as adults, come up with a concise plan to not only take care of the backlog, but make sure that we don't get in this situation again. We can close our borders. There's nothing wrong with that. So that needs to go completely out of the window. Like, back in the 40s, they closed the borders. And when we had them open and we wanted people to come, it was because we were trying to populate the country. And there was stipulations and rules, and there was certain things that we were looking for when we were looking for people to come here. At this point in time, we have so many homeless people. I don't think that there's no room for anybody else. That's first and foremost. Voting rights. If you pay taxes, I think you should have voting rights. I'm not a fan of felons losing their voting rights. I think if you do the crime and do the time, once you're a free person, the idea of the title felon shouldn't even be attached to you. If anything, it might be like a hashtag. Like, yeah, he's a felon or she's a felon, but so what? So what? Unless it was a violent crime towards children or the elderly or something that was completely heinous, in which, why are they out of jail? So if it's a crime that's a violentless crime and it's just some petty bullshit, what's the difference? Like, if the system isn't set up to punish you and then reform you, whatever the fuck that means, because they do nothing, and release you into society as a regular person, then why put so many restrictions on you? They can't get jobs. They can't vote. They have no say so. When most of these attorneys, like Kamala Harris, who put so many people of color in jail with her terrible, terrible tactics, and I mean, very frowned upon. And she hid evidence just to lock people away and gave them crazy time. Crazy time. It's very unfortunate what these politicians have above, people that are just trying to get by. Not all crime is necessarily a bad thing, but I do think that we need to, again, I think there needs to be redefinitions of what it means to be a convicted felon. Because the voter right idea, it always goes around this it's an offensive ideology to say that there's no voter rights. That doesn't make any sense. People have died for many, many years. There's been wars behind this. MLK himself and many others have fought for the right to vote because that's the voice. Your vote is your voice. The idea to say that there's no voter rights is beyond me. The ideas that people are offended to show an ID, I think you should mandatory walk in with your ID in hand. You shouldn't even be able to touch the voting box without showing your ID. How is that suppressing anybody? If you listen to Democrats, what they say is that people of color are too stupid to have IDs. We can't go get IDs. We're dumb. They like to say that people of color, well, they don't have cars. So we can't walk to get the vote in. They like to say that we're not good with time, so they want to give us extra time. No, the voting day is the voting day. The rules are the rules. Adjusting the rules because you think that you're accommodating people of color because they're slow or they're stupid or they're too poor to get there, it's offensive, to say the least. And they cover their offense in some bullshit called voter rights. It's just not a thing. The idea that New York City tried to pass voter rights for 500,000 illegals, it's beyond me. You can't get away with it. You just can't get away with something like that. Unfortunately, the title's the title. That's the difference between having voter rights and not having rights, right? You must be a citizen to have voter rights. And if you've been here for X amount of time, people come here on work visas. When they're on a work visa, that doesn't mean that they get those rights. There's certain rights that you get and you don't get. Now, a lot of people abuse work visas and they stay, but there's people that are legitimately trying to get residency and want to be citizens because they would like to participate in this country in every aspect. And what those voter rights are and what they're trying to pass right now in Congress has nothing to do with anything. It really isn't. It's highly offensive, to say the least. The TikTok and the YouTube top earners list came out, and I mean, y'all know all the kids that are crushing it and they're making tons of money. TikTok is doing very well for the app. The size is their growth is amazing. It has massive growth. Over 1 billion users, more watch time than YouTube, and it's become number one pretty much. So to see that they have a top 10 list, I think the top one was the older D'Amelio sister, right? $17 million. It's not bad for TikTok. And that's just TikTok. They got HBO show, or not HBO, Hulu, so they're with Disney. But I mean, Logan Paul's still making, he made like 16 million. Yo, that's just off YouTube. Mr. Beast made 25 million. Like, these guys are making crazy amounts of money. Shout out to all of them. But, the controversy was they were all white. I don't think they're all white. I obviously don't know everybody's nationality or race. It's not really my concern. But yeah, I definitely can see that there's a lack of color. I understand how people feel. But, I mean, it is what it is. You work harder. We can't sit there and complain when we don't have a spot. Like, I'm working towards getting a spot. I'm going to be on that list. We have to be. We have to push towards that. Don't get complacent and sit in a rut At this point in time, you should be shining. This is the perfect time to showcase your talent. And you know what? I just came to the conclusion too, right? Everybody that does talking head work was either a drug dealer, worked in the hood, some type of street activities. And let me tell you why. Because we were home during the day bagging up drugs or selling drugs. So we were watching Maury, Jenny Jones. You know, you had Rude Jude on Jenny Jones. We had all the talk shows, the morning talk shows, all the judge shows. That was just what we grew up on because we was hustling watching that TV show. It was literally just talking head, talking head, talking head. You look at Adam 22, Academics, Joe Budden, Charlemagne. Charlemagne came from Wendy Williams. He's from that elk. Like he literally came cut from that. And we're just the byproduct of watching these TV shows as young men. And now we're over here just doing todo bochinche. That's all it is. It's all bochinche at the end of the day. But comment, tell me how do you view not seeing more diversity in these lists? What can be done? How can you help them? How can you support them? Why aren't they being supported? At the end of the day, I believe it's support. I don't believe it's the creators themselves. I think it's just the network that we have is not necessarily the strongest one, and we don't look out for one another the way that these other creators have built their communities. You know, I think that's a big deal. My question was answered about the whole LG thing. I did not know that they were making the OLED screens. All my TVs are LG because when you turn on LG, the LG stands for life's good, and I always like to see that right when I turn my TV on. It's a big, big deal for me. I'm believing that type of shit. All right, don't judge me. Netflix prices are going up, and honestly, I'm really, really scratching my head as to what are they thinking. Ozark is being split up into two-part season. So instead of it being the 10 full episodes, they split it up into like season A, season B. 7 episodes. Like, what the fuck is the point, dude? Just give me the whole clip and let me just watch it at my own speed. And then don't tell me you're gonna charge me more for the Ultra HD. And it doesn't look any different. I paid for the extra Ultra HD. It looks the same as the regular shit. I have a fucking 8K TV. You can't even tell. You can't tell. Netflix ain't doing shit. I have 2 terabytes of internet speed. You can't see the Ultra HD. It's bullshit. Oh, word? That's how y'all do it. T-Mobile take care of y'all. AT&T pays for my Hobo Max. Shout out to AT&T. That's all they do because they charge me an arm and 2 legs. Kanye, yes, you know, if you're on Clubhouse, you got to hear the Kanye video about an hour before the whole world because Whack 100 was on Clubhouse and he had the tape and he played it for all of us to listen. And we all sat there and almost disbelief. Like I never thought I'd be hearing Kanye have these conversations of child support in that fashion or child custody, child viewership, or just parenting. I thought that it was more cordial, and it does definitely seem like they're doing this for the gossip rags and for everybody to watch. It's getting corny. You know, it's corny. I wish the best for Kanye. I don't like this type of stuff. It's difficult enough to get over the breakup, and they're both doing their own thing, but when it comes to the kids, y'all shouldn't do that shit. Y'all shouldn't do that. And just keep it off the internet. It gets ugly. I just, and then, he gets on. When the fuck have y'all ever seen Kanye pick up the phone and shoot a little video and put that shit up? He never does that shit, bro. He's driving his car. Who the fuck has ever seen Kanye driving besides like taking off from somewhere? No, he's on his phone. He's driving, talking his shit. Like, Kanye is definitely going through some things right now. Y'all just pray for Kanye. Shit, pray for me, pray for you, pray for all of us. Do whatever you do. Today, one-of-a-kind Mustang, a 1965 Ford Mustang Shelby GT 350R was sold. And I'm going to say this wrong, I'm sure. It's the Mecum the Mecum auction at Kissimmee, Florida. It sold for $4 million. Damn, $4 million, bro. Oh my God. It's a beautiful, beautiful Mustang. $4 million. It's 4.07. The .07 is $70,000, by the way. That's a pretty bitch. That is a pretty bitch. All right, let's get into this story from Walmart. And I found it on TMZ because nobody else had any good stories, and I really just didn't want to keep talking about voters' rights all day. The story is about Walmart getting into the metaverse. TMZ. If you thought all the talks of these digital goods and wealth was just some sort of nerdy fad, think again, because the retail market space is going into the VR, and that's including Walmart. The big box behemoth has reportedly filed a number of trademarks, apps, and in recent months, seeking to gain exclusive rights to sell virtual goods on their digital shelves. That's pretty awesome. And we're not just talking about a website either. Sounds like Walmart is ramping up for a full-blown online experience where customers can actually show off the stuff that they own within the dimensions itself. Basically, a Walmart metaverse is coming, and I really don't even know what that's going to look like. I find it interesting, though, that Walmart would be the first ones. My goal with my furniture store was to have my furniture store inside of Walmart. If I could put my furniture store inside of Walmart, grandkids would be multi-billionaires. Still my goal. I'm pushing towards that. I will remove all the furniture from Walmart, and it'll be this old stuff inside of Walmart, and I'll be set. Especially if they go meta. I'm going to have a meta furniture store. You're going to need furniture in the metaverse. I got to do all that. What else had happened? So if you didn't see the volcano going off, let me say something about the volcano. It was pretty interesting. It was underwater, so it was like a seismic explosion. The movie we just talked about, Don't Look Up, right, which was the one about the meteor coming down and everybody was just watching it come. Well, the news says, stay away from the beach. The tsunami's coming because of the earthquake. Everybody went to the beach, and they stood there with their phones like this. And they were watching the tsunami come. Literally, hundreds of people on the beach. Then surfers were out surfing, and some kids were walking through these crevices from what happened. Y'all, this movie's real. You were told a tsunami's coming, and who knows? It could have been 10 feet, 100 feet, 1 foot. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. It could have been the most catastrophic thing you've ever seen. Nobody gave a shit. They literally went with their cameras to go watch. It's amazing. Pulled the story from CNN. The Tanga, How Api eruption on Saturday was enormous. Likely the largest in 30 years, according to experts. It injected... One of the issues with the whole volcano going off is global warming. Literally global warming. It'll change the temperature of the earth because of the gas that it releases. This is a global warming thing, not a climate change thing. Only because it's a volcano. If you get more than one or two to happen, there'll be a haze. There's that sits in the atmosphere. It causes a lot of issues. Will you stop? I'm trying to explain something for a second. If you ever watch the TV show Dinosaurs, it's on Disney Plus. Watch the TV show Dinosaurs. When all the volcanoes go off, the whole earth gets covered in a giant cloud and they freeze. That can happen. It can overheat. It can magnify. I mean, there's so many different things that can occur depending on these gases and how long they sit in our atmosphere. When this went off, it wasn't as bad, but nonetheless, it did put up gases and it did change just slightly things in the area. The explosion itself and the seismic wave didn't really cause too much damage. It wasn't as bad as they suspected, although that initially would be the first concern. The shaking of the rocks, the moving of the earth, the plates, and what's going on underneath there. Who knows how big of a hole came about it and would create, a vacuum of water, and then the rush back it'd be devastating to see. Let's talk about this cloud though. And I don't even know why I did that. This is just fucking and if you didn't see it, like there was literally a satellite image of it, and it just looked like a bomb went off. Boom! Underwater. And it rocked the whole earth. Like you can see so the earth is rotating and the sun is actually setting over where it was happening, and it just goes off. Boom. Boom. And the sun is still disappearing, but then you can see the wave, like the seismic wave, just go through the whole ocean. It was insane. It looked like a bomb. It looked like and just think that was an underwater volcano. Like what would happen to a volcano that was like massive today and went off? Would that really change the earth the way that it used to? Would it not? Would it be one of them dribbly ones? Because I always see those like big ass dribbly volcanoes. Like what happens when we get a big one that blows like that? According to experts, it injected a huge cloud of ash and sulfur dioxide, or SO2, high into the atmosphere more than 30 kilometers, around 19 miles, above sea level, according to data from NASA satellites. At the height above above influence of jet streams in a layer known as the stratosphere, aerosols can remain for years. Importantly, when SO2 reaches the stratosphere, it reacts with water and creates a hazy layer of gas that prevents sunlight from reaching the Earth's surface and can lead to cooler temperatures. So when a bunch of volcanoes go off, that caused the Ice Age. Supposedly, that's what caused the Ice Age, right? The meteor hit, volcanoes all went off, it covered the Earth, we froze. If the volcano decides that it's going to do a number of explosions and keeps on adding, it'll change things. So as of right now, It seems that it is short enough that the event did not even sulfur into what? That the event didn't even have enough sulfur in it to likely change much of the climate. Why was that so hard to read at the end? I thought they would be more concerned because of the tsunami effect. Nobody cared. Apparently, this was the biggest story, and everywhere I went, that's all they were talking about was how many gases it released. And I'm like, wow, that's honestly like the last thing I could think of was the gases of this volcano. And today's MLK Day, and Martin Luther King had a dream, and I'm not sure if his dream has come to fruition. I can say this: we have a generation now of white apologists. We have a generation of upset folks that didn't see things their way or just aren't okay with the timeline being what the timeline is. Unfortunately, most of our lives started in the 50s. Minorities, most of our lives started in the 50s. Wasn't that long ago. We've accomplished a lot of things in a short period of time. When you look around and you see your peers, and I mean other people of our age that are different colors than us, white people that are doing a lot better than us, you have to remember they started before us. So we can't necessarily judge ourselves from where they are today, but we can judge ourselves from where we have come from when we started. And in the 1950s, Puerto Ricans and blacks weren't multimillionaires, weren't billionaires, and weren't known around the world for their talents, their skills, or their intelligence. Since then, we've changed the world. Hip hop runs the world. Our clothing, our fashion, our food, our movies. Although it seems like entertainment is our biggest thing, it isn't. It's just people will pay more attention to that. But we have amazing scientists. A black woman created GPS. Like, these are things that you shouldn't forget. This isn't just regular things. They are more than just sport players and entertainers that are Spanish, black, and just people of color in general. And you should always pay attention to what's really going on and stop listening to other people tell you the story. Find it for yourself. Find it for yourself. Equality is being able to have the opportunity to even try. That's the equality that we all have. Don't look for equal outcome. There's a difference. Equal outcome is not real. But we all do have equality. I know it seems harder for others than it does for some, but in all honesty, this is the greatest place to be. And hopefully we can make Dr. King's dream come true one day in a more positive light. My name's Kasabian. Live in the moment, don't live in the past. Be safe, stay dangerous. Lavoe loves you. One.